What's up guys, Commander Alex here, and today we're going to be talking about Phinn. I'm going to be giving you guys a brief rundown of all of his abilities, then talking about what items I see as good on him, and finally finishing off with just some brief thoughts on the character as a whole. First off, let's take a look at his heroic perk. The core of his heroic perk is that he gains 15% additional armor, shielding, and max health from items and effects, and he is unable to be slowed or effectively stunned. Phinn's heroic perk basically means that it's impossible to stop Phinn, and if you try and stop him, you're going to have a very hard time of it. That being said, Phinn does have incredibly low move speed, in fact the slowest in the game at the moment, excluding Saw at max stacks. That means that you really don't have to stun him or slow him if you want to keep up with him. Now let's take a look at Phinn's A slot ability, Quibble. Quibble allows Phinn to slam a target location around him with his anchor, damaging and slowing enemies. I recommend maxing out Quibble since its overdrive upgrades the slow into a stun. Keep in mind that Quibble has quite a long wind-up animation and has a fairly short range. Next we have Phinn's B slot ability, Polite Company. When triggered, Phinn leaps into the air and lands with an impact that deals damage to enemies around him and pulls enemies towards him. Note allies in the impact zone gain a barrier. Use Polite Company in teamfights to keep allies alive and at the end of teamfights to stop fleeing enemies. Finally, we have Phinn's ultimate, Forced Accord. When activated, Phinn throws his anchor out in the direction of the player's choosing. Then he whips it back, bringing anything unlucky enough to be caught with it. Use Polite Company to get picks on enemies when they least expect it. I recommend maxing out Polite Company for the decreased cooldown. Note that Forced Accord can grab through walls, though it cannot grab cracking or turrets. But it would be pretty awesome if it could, just saying. Now that we have a basic understanding of all of Phinn's abilities, let's take a look at some items that work very well on him. First off, he has quite slow move speed, so you're going to be looking at Journey Boots, Warhorn, and Shiver Steel as core items on him since they allow him to keep himself in the fight. Beyond that, you're going to be looking at some key defensive items that are going to allow him to support his teammates. Personally, I like the Crucible, Fountain of Renewal, and Atlas Pauldron. I like these because they allow you to debuff the enemy team and buff your own team, which is really what Phinn is all about, helping his teammates. Now I'd like to give some final thoughts on Phinn. First off, I'd like to say that I think his major weakness is his speed. I think that's pretty evident, but if you guys didn't know, he's really slow. Like, really slow. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some of the other things about him. First off, as far as team comps go, he's going to work really well with slow team comps. And I know we already touched on this, but it's kind of true. If you build him with a Saw and a Cruel, characters that don't have great mobility to begin with, then his weakness is going to be the entire team's weakness, and it's not going to be an issue. Basically, you want to put him with a team comp that can force fights, rather than team comps that have to walk into fights or chase after fights. Beyond that, I feel like Phinn's best role is roam, though he does have great base stats, so maybe we're going to see some lane Finns. I've seen it happen in the beta testing, though I don't know how viable it is. Finally, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on Phinn. Do you think he's cool? Do you think he sucks? Just, tell me what you think about him. And I'm Commander Alex. I hope you enjoyed the video. See ya!